My husband needs to be tall, rich, hot, and obsessed with me. I just want to marry a guy who's good looking, has a job, and loves me. I just want to date a guy with a job and a car. Just a guy with a pulse. Stop deporting illegal immigrants. We are all America's children. Oh, I finally found something that loves me too.
Hello, faggot lovers everywhere. I've a message for you from Birdseye. Birdseye faggots will appeal to your whole family. They've made them with lashings of gravy, but they've gone easy on the spice because kids don't like them too spicy, apparently. Birdseye even suggests that people who don't like faggots could enjoy these.
I'm tired. I'm tired of doing it myself. I'm tired of being alone. I want to share my life with someone. I am just freaking tired. It's not about being lonely, so I just want somebody. No, I want to be in love. I want to share my life with someone. I want to feel the joys. I want to have my hands held. I want to be held. I want to kiss. I want to support. I want to make coffee with that person. I want my person. I want my person. Why is it so hard to find your person?
Free drinks, food and all. How come I wouldn't have done it? Because you're a whore.
Wake the fuck up.
Me so horny. I love you long time.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
God's been too good to me. Are you connecting?
Take two. Stirring the peach creatine pre-workout mix with the KaBAR tactical chopsticks. Using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your creatine. At the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started. Take two. We'll get started. But first, creatine. Nice.
Nice.
I learned this in 1981 from my famous theology professor, Hobart Grazier. The path to anything that you desire is this. This is the exact order. Mental assent. You have to envision it. You have to go there with your brain. What do you want? Say it with your mouth. Commit it to paper. 2, commitment to doing whatever it takes to get that thing, to achieve that purpose. And then 3, following through. By doing what? By reverse engineering it. For instance, I'll give you a good example. I want to make $1 million in a 12-month period. Is it easy to make $1 million over a period of many years? Yes, it is. Compress that into 12 months. What do you need to do? To make $1 million in a 12-month period, you have to make $83,000 a month. What does that come down to per day? I didn't know that. I didn't know the answer to that question when my coach was asking me several years ago. I didn't do my homework. I just had this desire to make $1 million in a 12-month period. He said, it's $3,000 a day. You have to generate $3,000 a day in order to make $1 million a year. Every single day, 7 days a week. 4 weeks out of the year. 52 weeks in a year. You have to make $3,000 a day for 365 days. Think about that. Now, is that going to happen working an hourly wage job or a salary job? Not going to happen. Sorry, it's not going to happen. So what you end up doing is you end up having wishing and hoping. So reverse engineer it right down to what do you have to generate per hour? And then the second question he said to me, which of course I felt like a fool. He said to me, do you have $3,000 a day habits? Man, that was a tough one. Okay. Question number 3, what systems do you have in place to be a $3,000 a day earner? Again, I had no answer. He provided more for me with questions as my coach rather than giving me answers. I have to come up with the answers. He had the questions that kept me awake for weeks. until I started implementing certain things. So reverse engineer absolutely everything. This all started with me in 1981 with a theology professor, Mr. Hobart Grazier, in 1981, when he spoke about mental assent, commitment, and then following through. That's the key to getting everything you want in life. Well, here's some thoughts on morning routine, and I just basically shared this with Lionel Vital on his Instagram channel, a 3-time Super Bowl champion who I've recently become friendly acquaintances with. And we talked about the most important thing of the day. He said, what is the number one thing that men need to do who are recovering from breakups and divorce? And I said, it's the morning routine. The morning routine is like a cannon, okay? The cannonball, the projectile, will only go in the direction that the cannon is pointed in. Think about this. A projectile leaves the cannon, all right? If it's aiming this way, it's not going to go this way. It's going to go this way. Your morning routine is like the cannon that directs your day. It tells your day what to do versus at the end of the day, you wonder what the hell happened. So morning routine is important. I had a deep sleep last night. I'm involved in lucid dreaming. Most people dream in black and white. I dream in technicolor, vivid color. Lucid dreaming to the point where I actually believe I am wherever my dream is taking me. And I have a fantastic dream life. Now, my take on this, on dreaming, is this. I call it God's therapy. Sleep and dreaming is God's therapy. When you sleep properly, the brain untangles emotional and mental knots that are there. You wake up feeling physically refreshed and mentally clear, and that alone puts you ahead of most people. That is how the top 5% operate. It's not living on caffeine. It's not grinding all day and then getting 3 hours of sleep. You need to dial in your sleep. And then I wake up, and while my coffee is, while the water is boiling before it goes into the French press, I take a concoction of beetroot powder, L-citrulline, and psyllium husk. The beetroot powder and the L-citrulline actually improve vascularity, which will lower blood pressure, increase oxygen flow to the brain. So it literally wakes you up from the vascular system, not a chemical response needed from caffeine. Now, I do love my coffee, and I will never quit coffee. And then I put a nicotine pouch in, like I just did right before the broadcast started. I have coffee with cream, sometimes a touch of brown sugar, and an egg yolk. You don't take... A lot of people think you put eggs in your coffee. I put an egg yolk in the coffee, and then I take the whisker and kind of whisk it into the coffee. You don't taste the egg, but you're getting the benefit of protein. So you're making a protein coffee. Then I do my social media posts. I work out. I do a weekly weigh-in. I'm not one of these people that's the kind of guy that steps on a scale every day. I see myself in a mirror every day, but sometimes when I was weighing myself every day, I might be up a pound, up 2 pounds, down a pound, and then, that affects your head. You're up and down. You think you failed, when all it could be is you're retaining water weight or you didn't take a good dump or something like that. So the weekly weigh-in, not a daily weigh-in. Sometimes I do it maybe twice. Then there's the daybreak show like this. And today is peptide day. I'm going to be doing a box opening. I got all my peptides from eliteresearchusa.com. Use the code SULTAN. It'll be a 10% discount, which covers your shipping and handling. So believe me, this is a game changer, and we'll talk about that in the future. So for me, Friday is peptide day. I inject retatrutide, MOTS-C, and BP157. And then I read one book. I'm going through business books and fiction books. So the one book that I'm going through right now is by Dan Kennedy, who is my marketing mentor from the 1990s. I have to go food shopping today. I got to put gas in the truck. I have to check the motorcycle market because I've been stashing away money in the motorcycle fund all winter long. And then, the motorcycle fund, basically, you know what I do? I take a mayonnaise jar, an empty mayonnaise jar, and when I get a few extra bucks, I stick it in the jar. And that's the motorcycle fund. Why do I do that? Because I compartmentalize my life. Pocket change, hair cutting tips for when I work at the salon, 1 or 2 days a week. Any tips that I get go in the motorcycle fund jar. Last year, I sold my motorcycle for double of what I paid for it. That was found money. I have no debt. I have no payments. I don't touch my savings. I don't touch my crypto. I don't touch any bill money at all. Now the next level, compressing income time. Any hardworking, smart person can make $1 million, like I said, over a number of years, but doing it in a 12-month period requires a different mindset and different systems. People have mocked me for that goal, and I ask myself one question: would I trade lives with them? The answer is always no. Don't listen to people who aren't where you want to be. This is why you need a mastermind group, and we'll talk about that in the future. Making more money is not about grinding more. It's about the systems you have in place. It's about automation. It's about residual passive income streams, all kind of synergistically working together. I know a coach, a lady who works with women. She was making 6 figures, making $100,000 a year coaching people. That was grinding. And then she did something. Now she's earning $1.2 million a year. Think about that. Now think about, you're making $100,000 and you want to make $1.2 million. Does that mean you have to work 10 times harder to make that kind of money? That's the average normie's mindset. So it's about the systems that you have in place and the automation. First, you build the body. Then the mind will follow. You might not have the greatest attitude. You might be grieving a loss, a breakup. You are recently widowed. It's tough. It's tough. Going through a divorce, can't see your kids, blah, 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 fill in the blank. You need to work on the body first, and then the mind will follow. Then you deliberately build the mind, the attitude, the toughness, the resilience, and the discipline gets dialed in. It spills over from working the physical, which is the easiest thing to change. The body is the easiest thing to change. Discipline gets dialed in because motivation is unreliable. Do you think I want to get up at 4 o'clock every day? Do you think I want to go to the gym every single day? There's days where I just say, screw it. I don't want to do it. But what makes me do it is the discipline that I've cultivated over the years. Then your financial goals get tuned in. Bills get paid easily. You're not robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're not going without. I was at a point in my life where it was like, should I buy groceries or put gas in the truck? It was like that for me 20 years ago. Stress will drop and your goals start to come into focus. For men, you need to start with the 4 pillars, and you must master these things. Your sleep, your nutrition, stress reduction. Stress will kill you faster than Twinkies will. Stress will kill you faster than any disease. Actually, stress will cause disease. And then number 4, resistance training, whether that be with weights, resistance band, body weight exercises, walking, that kind of thing. So spend 1 month dialing in your body. You could do that in 1 month. You really can. You can see results on the scale, in the mirror, and how you feel, the quality of your sleep. It's not going to happen in a weekend. It's going to take 1 month. By May 1st, think about this. We're almost at the end. Think about this now. We're almost at the end of March. We have April to go. By May 1st, you can be a different man. May 1st. By this time next year, you can literally become unrecognizable physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. And I thought I was disciplined. Okay, we are very self-protective as human beings, aren't we? We defend our weaknesses. A good coach reveals your weaknesses and your blind spots. I was disciplined until I did these 3 things. I hired a health coach, which is pretty darn obvious, as you can see. I hired a goal coach to work with me through the roadblocks and some business stuff. And then I joined an intensive mastermind group that I meet with that is brutally honest with me And the goal of a mastermind group, let's say it's 12 men around a table. You're not just benefiting from what you think is true and the things that you've read, but you're benefiting from 11 other people who have experiences different than you. How do you find a good mastermind group? Pick a group where there's people that are smarter than you. If you hang out, well, you've heard the phrase, show me who your friends are and I'll show you who you are, right? You've heard people say this too. You're the average of the 5 people that you associate with, or the average of the 5 most frequent YouTube channel influencers that you watch. What you need to do is be in a room. Choose the room where there's people that are smarter than you. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Now, if you hang out with 5 fat, broke losers, guess what? You'll be the 6th fat, broke loser. I'm a professional coach, and I have a coach. When I was a therapist for over 20 years, I had a supervising therapist that I had to meet with once a week to discuss my cases and bounce solutions off of them. As a coach, I need a coach. So I'm paying a lot of money. It's not cheap, but neither is staying stuck. So you must invest in yourself, not just grind more. The answer is not working harder. I'm not a rented Lamborghini guy, as you know, or a fake guru. I wear practical watches. I have my RGMT diver's watch here. It's an automatic watch. Tritium hands and hour markers. I got it for a good deal, almost new, and it's a very humble watch, but the thing is reliable. I love the thing. I can put it on my dresser, and in the middle of the night, if I wake up and see what time it is, I can see it across the room because the hands are glowing bright. Kind of interesting, right? But a very humble watch. I drive a reliable 20-year-old farm truck, something that is EMP impervious. I wear eBay and thrift store clothing, the things that you see me wear now. Now, if you've ever seen me in person, I dress pretty good. This is an Untuckit sport coat. Brand new, about $365. How much did I get it for? $40 on eBay. This shirt, it's an Untuckit shirt. As I've gotten into shape, I'm wearing fitted clothing now. All right? A $100 shirt. What did I pay for it on eBay? $9. $9. So I'm pretty frugal, but I'm not cheap, if that makes any sense to you. I belong to Planet Fitness, not some happy, clappy, bodybuilding, ego gym. If you can't build a good body for $10 a month at Planet Fitness, you can't build it anywhere. No flashy BS, no signaling. The only area that I claim superiority in is discipline and habits. If you want to beat me, you need to beat me through discipline. I don't know anyone who's as disciplined as I am. Michelangelo's David, as Jordan Peterson said, he called it the Michelangelo effect. Michelangelo created David with the golden ratio. We look at the statue of David as a perfect male form. And it speaks to us. When I look at the statue of David, I hear it silently telling me, you can be more than you are. It throws down the gauntlet. In the same way, the statue of Venus de Milo is the perfect female. We don't even know you've seen the statue of Venus de Milo. Arms. But all fashion designers have said that is the perfect female form. So men will look at the statue of David. Women can look at Venus de Milo, and it says, you can be better than you are. So with men, it's the Michelangelo effect. With women, it might be the Venus de Milo effect. A coach sees what you can't see and pushes you to where you would never push yourself. So do this now. Start the 4 pillars. Read 2 kinds of books every single day, a chapter in each book. 1, a business and entrepreneur book, and 2, a fiction book. Because when you reading is the movie theater of the mind. You see the characters. You experience the character development. and I believe it grows your brain. Join a mastermind group. Hire a coach for 1 year, not a single session, not a single consult. 1 year. No excuses accepted at all. I've been writing motorcycle fiction. It's kind of a weird version of genre, isn't it? But I take all the things that I like, dystopian novels, SHTF situations, end of the world scenarios. I guess that's why I like The Walking Dead. Walking Dead, you know, I'll ask somebody, do you ever watch The Walking Dead? And they always say, well, I'm not really into the whole zombie thing. And I correct them and I say, The Walking Dead is not about zombies. It's about survival. The zombies are just an environmental hazard. The lessons that you can learn from The Walking Dead are absolutely amazing. So I take a few interests. Dystopian stories, end of the world, post-nuclear SHTF, motorcycles, masculinity, and I put them into some stories. Let me just read one to you that I recently wrote. He rolled in slowly after sunrise. Rolled in slowly after sunrise. That's when you roll into a town when the order has collapsed. Not at night like the movies. Night is for hiding. Morning is for entering. The sound of that V-twin echoed off the empty brick buildings like a warning shot that never had to be fired. A couple men stepped out of a hardware store that didn't sell hardware anymore. One of them had a rifle, but he held it low. Not stupid. Just careful. The other one had a baseball bat. That told him everything he needed to know about the town. They weren't organized, they were just surviving. He shut the bike off in the middle of the street and sat there for a moment. The silence got heavy real fast. Engine ticking as it cooled. Wind moving a piece of newspaper down the street like a ghost. One of the men finally spoke, asked him where he came from. He didn't answer the question. In this new world, where you came from mattered less than what you could do or whether or not you were trouble. He took his gloves off slow. Looked around. He saw a water tower in the distance. Saw a small farm at the end of the street. Saw a woman watching from a second floor window. Saw 2 kids on bicycles that were too small for them because the new bikes don't exist anymore. Then he asked the only question that matters in the new world. Who's in charge here? The 2 men looked at each other before they looked back at him. And that was his answer. Nobody was in charge. He nodded once, and like a man who just heard exactly what he expected to hear, he swung his leg over the motorcycle, stood there calm, not aggressive, not friendly either. Just a man who wasn't afraid of anything anymore because he had already lost everything once before everything went to shit. I'm not here to take anything. I'm here to see if this town is worth staying in. That's when more people started to come out slowly and carefully. Curious, careful. The way people used to come out of restaurants to look at a nice car. Now they came out to look at a man who traveled between towns alone, a lone wolf. One of the old men said, "Who are you?" He smirked, and that's how it started. Just a lone wolf warlord on a black Sportster, rolling into town with no leader, no plan, no future, and deciding to stay a while. Quick report on my progress, physical progress since last September. It started with an in-body evaluation and a DEXA scan. I was talking with Dr. AK, and data is what fired me up and motivated me. I've lost 25 pounds. I got 10 more to go. Damn it. You need data. You need it. You can't manage what you don't measure. I thought I was fit when that pic of me of Dr. AK was taken. I look at it now and I look at how thick and unhealthy I was. I didn't start injecting peptides until December 1st. I dialed in my sleep, my nutrition, the 4 pillars, my stress, perfected my workouts with my health coach. Belly completely gone. There's 0 belly now. I gained 3 pounds of muscle. I haven't starved myself either. I'm not hungry all the time. Before I go to bed, when I do the live broadcasts, I would come in at night and have 2 bowls of cereal and then go to sleep. That was a habit that I had to break. I minimized my carbs. I eat protein and fat first. I walk lighter. Literally walk lighter. I don't walk like an overweight gorilla. like you see in that picture of me and Dr. AK. I went from an extra large everything, 48 regular. I was wearing a 48 regular sport coat. This is a 42 regular. Fits me like it's made for me, like it's tailored for me. I'd be swimming in that 48. I probably should wear that one day. You know, like those pictures where people hold out their pants, you know, their big pants to show how big their waist once was. I think Jessica had done that in a recent video where she showed her pants from when she was heavier, and now she's trim and lean and looking great. And sometimes I think it's good, like for instance, I will hang on to that 48 regular sport coat. I'll hang on to that. That's going to be like my pair of pants that I hold out to here. So I went from an XL to a medium. Now, medium t-shirt, that is. Because I'm a little bit top heavy, I wear a size large dress shirt. Like this is a size large. Now remember, it's fitted. Muscles, what do they say? Clothes make the man, but muscles make the clothes. So you can't just lose weight. You have to build muscle. Otherwise, you'll be skinny fat and you won't look good or won't feel good. When I bring a new shirt in, like I just got a new Untuck It shirt this week from eBay, $9. $9. It's a $100 shirt, but I got it for $9. So I bring one new shirt in to the closet, and then I pick 3 shirts to go into the donation bag that go to the thrift store. They go to Goodwill. So I'm slowly replacing all my clothes. So the 2026 pack, 2026 pack, get it? Is on track. I got a 4-pack now, but by June 1st, I'm going to have the 6-pack. So I am your lab rat. I'm doing all the testing. I've tested everything in the past 10 years, figuring out what works and what doesn't. And I'm closer to 70 years old than I am to 60, and in the best shape of my life. And one of the things that I've been doing and getting great results with is with peptides, which I'm going to do a box opening in another video, with EliteResearchUSA.com. Use the promo code Sultan. So I try to be an example. I'm not just telling you what to do. I'm showing you what to do because you've seen the before and after. Well, let's have an emergency meeting about the topic of one-itis. You can't get over her. You have to be away from her for a period of time to get clarity. And that's the only way to disable and deconstruct the one-itis that you're feeling. Only then does your brain start to separate fact from fiction. But my gosh, those breasts were amazing, weren't they? She was horrible with money, and you'd be broke in 5 years if you married her. But God, that accent is so charming and cute. She couldn't be trusted when she traveled for business. Oh yeah, she's the founder and CEO of a successful company, but is the exact opposite of you politically, and you can't even talk about those topics with her. Yes, she's an atheist. She doesn't believe in God. But you rationalized and thought, I'll go to church by myself, hoping that she'll eventually come with me. There will be no missionary dating. Yes, she was sexually free in the bedroom, but those unpredictable mood changes and you walking on eggshells is not acceptable. But those breasts are amazing, aren't they? You've never seen a bottom like that in your entire life.
Great ass! And you got your head all the way up it!
And my Lord, those thighs. Knocking me out with those American thighs. The smell of olives on her freshly showered body. The clean taste of her nectar down below. The image of her coming out of the shower in a robe and a towel on her head. And it all drops to the floor in front of you. Her nails just go along your back. The cool kisses on the side of your neck. The way she spoons you and holds you at night. Her pet words for you during making love. How sexy she gets after 1 glass of wine. And my God, that little black dress that she wears. Holy smokes. Her feet were perfect. God, and she could cook too. Did I mention how beautiful and amazing those breasts were? See what I did there? That was a glimpse of the battle that goes on in your head. The breasts are world class. You've never seen better. They fit your hands so well. The nipples were made for your lips. The breasts were plump, round, and perky. In plain English, you got hooked on the highs and the thighs and started negotiating with the lows and the blows. That's why distance is the only thing that works, because when you're in the presence of the person, guess what? The chemicals always win. When you're away, the patterns win, and patterns never lie. That's why you need to be a pattern recognition expert. So when you don't see her, you're not in love, you're in withdrawal. Think about that for a second. Oh, God. But those breasts were so beautiful. Gosh. The reason why space works is because it allows memory, your memory, to reorder itself. When you're away from her long enough, the brain stops looping the highlight reel and starts playing the full documentary. You start remembering the arguments, the tension, the eggshells that you walked on, the political fights, the money stress, the gut feeling that you ignored, the things that you told your friends to defend her. The spell breaks when the whole picture comes back, not just the best scenes or the highlight reel of that marriage or relationship. Order! Order in this court! Order! Devil on one shoulder telling you if you do something different, only if you did something different. You change your behavior, you were nicer. Maybe if you alphaed up a little bit more, if you complimented her more, told her she was beautiful, wait till she gets it out of her system. Then she'll be better. If you simp hard enough, you could out-simp the other guys that are currently orbiting her. If she's a modern woman, there are other men right now contacting her old boyfriends, social media followers, a neighbor, co-workers. They're all around her, waiting for her to be single. Then you have an angel on the other shoulder saying, move on, bro, you're stuck. But Lord, the way those breasts danced while she was riding you, her past male orbiters, who are like a brother, or they only slept together a few times years ago, they keep circling back to offer her support. Brother, you don't have a relationship problem, you have a clarity problem. And clarity only comes from distance, silence, and time. Without those three things, you're going to negotiate against your best interest 100% of the time, because you are negotiating with access to the fantasy of sex and affection. And that's a very hard negotiation to win. Remember, you don't miss the software and the operating system. You miss the hardware, what you saw, what you felt. But what you experienced with her is the trouble. I want you to be a reality purveyor, not a fantasy investor. You keep investing in a fantasy. So the only way to get a fair trial is to move the court to another location, which is distance and time. That's when the verdict becomes clear. That's when it becomes obvious. But my God, those breasts, they were so beautiful. And with that, finish your peach creatine mix, and I'll see you on the next Daybreak show, the only home of sanity, clarity, and reason.